here with Dominic Alcorn.
Hello, how are we doing?
And we're going to talk about the Predator movies.
Thank you, culture.
Thank you. Yeah.
It is based on hunting.
Yeah.
Its purpose is for the fun, the
Of hunting.
sport of hunting.
So people go to another planet to hunt them,
Pretty much, yeah, well, they pretty much go to another planet to hunt anything.
but they can get hunted themselves.
They can get hunted. They actually have blood feuds between them and different tribes
So
of
the
predators.
predators are not on planet Earth.
No. The predators come from a different planet themselves. So they come from an interplanetary
Wow.
force.
And then they go there to hunt, but they get hunted, and some get stuck there.
Well, no, they actually come to Earth or other planets just
Yeah.
to actually face off for the challenge.
So there is predators on planet Earth as well.
There is, in the movies there
All
are.
right.
Yes.
So, but why do they let the predators come here?
Well, firstly, it's more like an invasion.
Oh, they invading.
So, yeah, they invading.
Is that in the first? Go through the first movie first.
Yes, the very
Is that
first.
what happened in the first movie?
That is the very first movie. What happens is one of them, one of the predators, or if you will call it that, if you're a real hardcore super predator fan, the name of the creature is often referred to as a yautja.
Okay. And how did it get to planet Earth?
Well, it was dropped off by some of its tribe members from its spaceship, and the idea is for it to fight the most dangerous species on planet Earth,
Which is human.
which is humans. So in the case of the first movie, it's a soldier. It's a soldiers.
Who plays the soldier?
So in the first movie is a group of US Special Forces
Yeah.
led by a character called Dutch, who is the wonderful Arnold Schwarzenegger. With him are six other members of a Special Forces group and a CIA operative.
But are they there to do something else, and this
They
just
are.
happens to them?
They
So
are.
what mission are they on originally?
Well, I can actually tell you, and there's a bit of historical stuff going on there.
Okay.
They're in El Salvador or
Okay.
Guatemala at the time of around
Civil War.
during the end of the 1980s, when there was a lot of guerrilla forces going on in the place. They go in and they stop some communist rebels.
Okay.
But what they also find along the way is that some of the other rebels and some other former operatives
Yeah.
have been killed. But they haven't just been killed, they've been hung upside down and removed of their skin, like a hunting trophy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And how many survives? Only Arnold?
Arnold and a little individual
Yeah.
who is with Arnold, who is kind of like a political prisoner
Oh, okay.
in the first one, if you will.
And then, so what happened in the second one?
So in the second one,
Well, actually, how did the first one end?
so spoiler alert. Okay, Arnold has to fight this creature when he, and of course this is in keeping with the themes, the themes of this movie, because this is very important to mention this. They are all about the warrior code.
Yeah.
The predator will take off its helmet just like a warrior will do in battle, like a lot of like the Mayans, the Cambodians,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
the
yeah.
other ancient cultures.
Yeah.
They'll remove their mask to fight in
Yeah.
battle. Arnold eventually gets some traps ready, and of course the creature, knowing that it's probably going to be destroyed, puts in a self-destruct device
Okay.
and blows itself up. So yes.
And so what happens then in the second one?
So in the second one, it fast forwards. Now the second one was made in 1989 to 1990, but it was set in a futuristic time of 1997.
Did it have flying cars?
No, but it had kind of a little bit of futuristic stuff. But it happens in LA, and at this time, it was assumed that LA was going to have a massive gang problem.
Oh, but it kind of has now.
It kind of has, but in this movie it has a
Yeah,
massive gang
yeah.
problem. This is you've got in this one you've got the police fighting a nasty war between
Gangs.
Colombian and Jamaican drug cartels. And what happens is they start to find out that some of the gangs are getting killed off one by one because the gangs are dangerous. And so the predator wants to fight.
Of course.
Yes.
And the portals just coming with the coffee now.
What do you think? Think I'm
Hang on.
doing well?
Yeah. I would have to say this. We just got our coffees and we're in this Japanese cafe and they
Yes.
made a really beautiful cat.
Yes. A cat. Yes.
A cat in a
Yes.
coffee, yeah.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So back to the Predator.
Yes.
The first one is in the jungle.
Yes.
They get killed one by one, but Arnold survives.
Yes. Yes.
Second one, is it still Arnold?
No. Originally, they were going to have him in the second one, but then he was given another role at the time. So what they did was they completely changed the whole cast.
Yeah.
And this one they have a very interesting combination of Danny Glover, Bill Paxton, Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, and Gary Busey.
I only know Danny Glover.
Yes. Yeah, no.
You don't need
no.
for remembering all the names.
Oh, you have to
no.
go through
Oh, no.
a few things, but they wanted it to be more like a detective story.
Oh, okay. I probably would like this one.
It
then.
is very good because, like, the same thing happens. There is a lot of action. It's pretty violent,
Yeah.
but it's no violent than what we see now. In fact, the Predator movies are pretty tame by today's standards.
Now they're just going overboard.
Well, to tell you the honest truth, I think the most violent movies now are horror movies. Okay, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
that's what. I mean, me and my mum, we watch it all the time.
I like action movies.
Well, there was more love thrown into this one.
Oh, yeah.
Into these movies.
So after he killed the Predator, he kills all the gangs. But he doesn't kill innocent people.
No. Well, you see, that's the whole thing. It's not sport. See, it keeps with the idea of sport.
Yeah.
There's actually a part where it will not harm civilians.
Okay, because they're not a threat and they're not
No,
fun
no.
to. I guess because they're not the most dangerous species.
No, of course not. It likes the hunt. It likes the thrill of the sport.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of what it is. There is a moral code to what the Predator does.
I know.
It isn't a mindless killing machine.
No. Can it
is-
get shot as well?
Oh yeah. It can get killed, but it can get shot. But
Is the Predator, see-through?
yes, it does. It has a cloaking device,
Yeah.
which it does by using. How it does it, it's a little bit hard to
But
say.
they didn't use the Predator in Rambo, did they?
No.
Because
no,
I thought
no.
Rambo had a Predator in them.
No.
Because that's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that's
I
Sylvester.
mixed up those movies.
No, that's okay, that's okay. But I can see why you might have thought that. If you were watching those movies at the same time.
I actually thought this
They-
movie. Yeah, that's
yeah.
it. I thought that Sylvester Stallone was
Yes.
the guy in Predator.
No.
So of course it's Arnold.
Yeah, of course. So, yes.
So how does this end like? How
Yes.
does this movie end?
Well, actually, I can tell you. Spoilers.
yeah.
Danny Glover chases this wounded predator into the underground of LA, where there's been a crashed spaceship. This ship is actually the Predator spacecraft. The design is beautiful because the design is all mixed with it. It has a very interesting South American, Caribbean art design
Okay.
around it, and that is in keeping with it. The Predator creature has lots of hair, which
Yeah.
looks like Rastafarian warriors.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what they wanted. They gave it something. They wanted to
It
give
does have Rastafarian hair, right?
It does, and of course and in fact, there's a part in the movie where he kills the leader of the Jamaican gang, a guy, a doctor called a drug lord called King Willie. King Willie is a voodoo, is a witch doctor.
Oh my god.
But of course, he believes in something in a demon called Dread, which is known throughout the Caribbean culture as the demon.
Oh really?
Yeah. So and
Is
of
it
course,
the main demon?
it's something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. You have to forgive me. I don't really know that much
But
about.
that's quite interesting. And
It
if
is.
any of our listeners want to, they can actually go and look it up.
Yeah.
But
So,
don't look it up too much.
yes. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. No. So that's So that was pretty interesting. Yeah. So
know.
but that's one of the things I like about this themes that tie in with it.
So he chases him down and he's
Yes.
with his
Well, yes, and then
sheep.
yep, and then what happens is he removes his helmet, and there's a big fight between him and Danny Glover. Danny Glover kills him, only to find out that he's been watched by the Predator's clan.
Oh no.
So there is all a big fight, but they realise that this Predator was killed fair and square. So
they leave him alone.
So they leave him alone.
And then they leave the
they
planet.
leave the planet.
But they can come back at any time.
They are, and of course, once again, and this ties in with the aliens. There is a special military company that wants the Predator because it has wonderful military applications.
Is that part of the second one, or is that more into the third one?
That's in the second one. Yes.
So there's like a story about the military as well.
There is. There's an underlining theme. So the third one was interesting because that one came out in late 2000 something. This one was a very interesting one. This one was actually done by Robert Rodriguez. This is one of the ones that I like. More about that later. I'll tell you about the plot. This one is done on the aliens' planet, on the Predator's planet.
Yes, that's what because I think I've seen they're on the planet. And
yes, and it's kind of their hunting ground.
Yeah.
It's their proving ground.
Yeah.
What happens is, in this one, Adrian Brody, who plays a Special Forces soldier.
Yes, I think I've seen this one.
Yes, he and a whole bunch of other individuals that they don't know have in common all meet up with each other. But they all have something in common. One of them is a, Special Forces guy. You've got the girl in it, who is an Israeli sniper. You've got a serial killer. You've got a guy that's been in jail, who's just been busted out. You've got a drug lord. You've got a Yakuza samurai.
Do they get picked by the Predators to come
They
there?
do, because
so they
they're all-
don't choose to go there. They get picked by the
they
spaceship
get
and
abducted.
taken there.
They get abducted, throw them on the planet.
Oh, so
and
they
then
can hunt them. And
so
there's
then
one guy who's been there for many years
That's
hiding
right.
it. And who is that?
And that's Lawrence Fishburne. And what happens is he completely goes nuts because he's living inside his head.
He can't escape the planet.
No, he can't escape the planet. But it's a very good movie.
And then this, how does it end in the end?
Well, that one in the end of that movie, he gets the Adrian Brody and the sniper girl. Once again, spoiler. They eventually killed the big predator, who is actually in this one, the big bad predator in this one, who is actually a pretty rough one. They actually call him the berserker, the berserkers, because they're bigger and stronger than the regular predator. So they're a rival group. So it's a clan war. So there you go.
So how many predators are on this planet?
Quite a few. But in this one, there's 3. There are 4, including the kind of the predator the traditional one, which is kind of the one that understands them. You know. So it's not a good versus evil. It's about who can survive the best.
Yeah.
Who's
And what about Predator 4?
So Predator 4 is interesting. They wanted to, interestingly enough, the Predator in number 4 was actually created by one of the guys who acted in the first movie, Shane Black, who's also responsible for doing Lethal Weapon.
Oh, good.
So he's got a lot of things to his name. What they did was they expanded on the universe, which is what they did with Aliens. Once again, you've got a bit of issues with the fans who don't really like what they did with this one, which is kind of understandable because they're passionate about their product.
Yeah.
Even if you did make the product, people are going to want or like or say, ugh, this is not...
Exactly. There's always the haters out there.
Yes, the haters. Now in this one, what happens is a predator is being sent to Earth. Like he escapes. But he's trying to escape.
Yeah.
He's trying to escape another clan. This time, this clan has now devised its own super predator called the this is very topical, the Upgrade, who is about 9 feet tall.
Oh my God.
So in other words, it's a weapon. It's trying to, and in this one they're trying to find what's going on Earth. They also bring in, this predator also brings in its hunting dogs, kind of like a bloodhound. When they known as flushing dogs. So yeah.
I have a question about the third movie though. After they defeated the Predator,
Yes.
how did they get back to planet Earth?
Well, they don't. We don't know
What?
what happened. Yeah, I know. It just stops there.
That's frustrating because
I
they
know.
got taken there. They have no ship to get back again.
No, they don't.
So in the fourth one, are
Yes.
they on planet Earth or
They're on planet Earth.
He's coming in to hunt, but who's he hunting this time?
So this time he's hunting. This time, the predator is now hunting a former special forces individual who has just been involved in in kind of in an operation against a Mexican drug lord. What happens is when he comes back to what happens is when he was on the mission,
Yeah.
a predator lands right next to the operation site. He then retrieves the helmet. The helmet of the predator, he has no idea what it is, but he sends it back to his house where his son picks up the helmet and then starts to, of course, what happens is when the son picks up the helmet, presses something, and of course, like a beacon, like what we have like on the Navman, it sends the predators back to Earth.
Then they know where.
So they know where he is. And this is what happens in this.
When was this movie made?
This one was made just about 2 years ago.
What's it called again?
This one's just called The Predator.
And it's about this upgraded predator.
This one, yes, it kills the other predator that comes to Earth.
But who upgraded it and how did it get to Earth?
It was actually upgraded by. It's actually considered the evolutionary step of the.
So it just got better.
So it just got better.
And it killed the other predators and
Pretty
took
much
it
so.
and traveled to Earth to fight cartel guys.
No, it came back to Earth to wipe out the special forces guy, that, plus him and all of his friends, who were all PTSD sufferers.
Oh no!
Yeah, so there's
So they have to get over their PTSD and fight back.
Pretty much so. Yeah, and of course they've also got to help. And this one was very interesting because they've got to help the young boy. See, the thing is, the predator. This is what I thought was interesting, was that the boy knows a little bit about the predator's technology. It can read the word because, and this is where some people with sensitivities are going to have some issues. He's got Asperger's.
So he's very intelligent,
So
and
he's very
he can read
intelligent.
code.
He can read code.
Wow.
As it turns out, the predator thinks he's a weapon
Oh.
because he's so smart.
And does he get kidnapped by the predator?
He does. He gets killed.
Did he get killed?
No, he doesn't get killed.
Does he get taken up to the planet with the predator?
No, they're about to take him off, but his father and his friends and his compatriots, they rescue him.
Oh, sounds like a good movie. Have we made any more Predator movies, you think?
I hope so. The other one didn't do so well.
Really? The latest one?
The latest one did not do so well. For what reason, I don't know. I personally liked it.
They didn't like the upgraded version.
Well, it wasn't so much that. I think there was a lot of problems with this one. I really don't know what the issue was with this one. I don't think it made a lot of money, which unfortunately is a big thing because let's face it, it is a business.
But it might do the test. It might do well, over time. People will go back to it.
Well, actually, that's the whole thing. That's one thing that has, like I said, has actually worked. What they have actually found, this one was a big thing with Predator 2. Not many people liked it at first.
Exactly, now they love it.
But now they love it. It's actually become a big one. Alien 3.
So maybe Alien 4 will become a big one too.
Yeah, of course.
In the future.
Oh yeah, they're all pretty big. They've all developed pretty big cult followings. So that's the important thing to remember. There is still a market for it out there.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just how do you use it and then who's going to take it on.
Hey, I have a good one last question.
Yes, talk to me.
Who do you like more, Alien or Predator?
I like them both.
But if you had to choose,
I really could not tell you.
if you had to choose, so the whole universe would explode.
Oh dear. I really don't know.
You have to. The universe will explode if you don't choose.
I'll go with the Alien.
Okay, I knew it. I just need to pull it out of you. Thank you, Dom.
Thank you so much.